Alright, today we got a KX250 in the workshop. We're going to do a set of grips on it. This bike has major bloody issues, but we're going to be doing some grips today anyway. With grips, we've got a couple of varieties here. So we've got the ODR lock-ons and the Pro-Taper clamp-ons as well, very similar. They just simply use an Allen key head. Basically, anyone who's a dinosaur could put these on. It's pretty simple. It's a 30-second job. But today we're going to be installing a Renthal Kevlar grip, traditional grip. So we're going to show you how to use the Ballard's tie wire pliers, the Ballard's tie wire and the Ballard's grip glue. We'll make sure we don't have two throttles, so we'll get cracking today. So we're going to get cracking. We'll get the left side started first. There's a few different ways you can remove grips. If you're not too worried about saving your grips, simply just cut them straight off. So just got a Stanley knife here, just going to cut straight along, and you can simply rip the glue off right there. Straight in the bin, get rid of it, get rid of the knife, we don't need that anymore. Now, the most important part to installing your grips is making sure this area is nice and clean. So we'll just grab some brake cleaner here. You can use contact cleaner, any sort of cleaner that removes any of the residue or the glue. Just get rid of it like that, make sure it's all clean. After that, we'll grab our air, make sure it's all dry. If we can get it out there. Once we're done with that, we've got all nice and prepped surface. So when you're installing the grips, it's pretty obvious which is which. The throttle side's obviously thicker than the standard side, so make sure you grab the right side, otherwise you will have two throttles again, or you won't be able to install your throttle. Now this grip glue is quite fast drying, so you've got to make sure you line your grip up. So you've got the R here, which should be facing the correct way up. So throw a bit of glue in there, and then just a little bit on top. Just make sure, again, we line that R up, slide it straight on, make sure you act quick, get it all lined up, and we'll let that set there for a while. Glue, that way it doesn't dry hard on your handlebars there. So as you can see, that's quite firm already because that's fast acting glue, but what we will do is we'll throw some tie wire on there just to make sure it doesn't move. We've got the Ballard's tie wire here. We like to cut a section around 20 centimeters long, roughly, give or take. This gives you plenty to work with. Now when using the tie wire, wrap around, you'll see there's a locator in the center here. And then you wrap around, I like to go around twice, purely because it's got less chance of actually cutting into the grip and actually going through to the bar. So we want to make sure we hold that grip as much as we can. Once we're set, now these beauties, these make the job super easy. So we simply just clamp onto the bottom wires here. Once you clamp them, slide the silver piece in the middle down, which holds the pliers tight, and you simply just pull away, which will in turn tighten the wires or twist them together. And we're twisting until we get a little bit firm, not too hard, otherwise we will snap that wire. And then you've got your excess there. So we simply just cut that off. Get as close as you can to the grip. And then you want to bend the excess back into the grip so you don't cut your hands when you're riding, and push it up into the grip. Alright, so some people like to put 3 separate blocks of wire on these grips. I just use 2 simply because there's 2 lines here for them. So there's actually, on most grips it will have a channel for the wire to sit in. And again, we've gone around twice, we've looped around twice. We'll cut a bit of the excess away there, we don't need that. Straight down, pull the silver bit down again, and start twisting. As you can see, that wire's turning around there, getting nice and tight. As it gets towards the top, we're all set there. And we'll snip that little bit off, and we'll push it up. That way you're not cutting your hands. I always put the wire away from the rider. That way if you do slip off, your hand's not going to get caught on that wire that's folded back up in. So we'll make sure we do it on both sides. So another way to get grips off is using your air again. So you can, if you want to save your grips, like if you're changing handlebars or something like that, a good way to use your air, you can actually poke the air gun down inside to pull the grip straight off without actually having to cut it. So if you wanted to save your grips, that's a good handy tip right there. So we'll go ahead and clean it. Now with the throttle side, it's really important to remember that this is your throttle tube. Now this one's plastic, so we've got to make sure we inspect it, make sure there's no damage anywhere around the throttle tube, preventing the throttle tube from actually doing its job and turning the throttle. So if anyone's had it stuck on throttle, you know what it's like. It's not fun time. The bike ends up going all over the place and you probably end up on the ground. So a good one to replace them with, if you ever need to replace your throttle tube, is an aluminium throttle tube. These ones will last a hell of a lot longer and are a lot stronger when you do tip the bike over. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So I'll end up throwing this throttle tube on. Again, we'll grab that grip glue. For the throttle side, again, the same situation. Just throw a whole heap of glue inside the grip there, along the top. And again, line up the R. We'll slide it on. Now the throttle tube normally is a little bit harder because it is thicker, but we'll just get that straight on. And we'll line up the R again. So that's good, that side. Wipe away the excess again. Now the important side with the throttle side is making sure your throttle tube actually turns and twists without actually getting stuck on anything. So at the moment, this is perfect. If you do have any binding issues, have a look at the top of the throttle housing. It might need to move it along. It could even be getting caught on the right hand side as well. So keep an eye on that. So we'll just whack some tie wire on there. Again, around the 15 centimeters to 20 centimeters, just enough to get around the grip twice. We'll go in that channel all the way around. Now you've got heaps of tie wire here. The Ballard's tie wire set with the wire comes with plenty. You probably end up doing hundreds of sets of grips with the tie wire plier set that you get here. Makes the jobs nice and easy, and you can help out your mates as well along the way. So again, we'll pull that down a little bit tight. We'll release that. You've got the side cutter end here. Cut that off there. And this little tab here, this is what I was talking about before, we just want to push that up into the grip. That way there's no chance of actually getting caught on it in the future. So we'll go again here. Got a nice 30-degree day outside here, it's nice and warm. Alright, we'll go around twice. So we'll just pull them simply straight down, nice and tight. Cut it off. Fold the end up. And you're all good to go. So just again, checking that throttle action. Alrighty guys, it's as simple as that. That's how you install your set of grips on any bike. If you like this content, you want to see more of it, make sure you like and subscribe, and let us know what you want to see next.